everybody wants to hit the ball further. Ultimately, you need lots and lots of things to go in your favour in order to hit those 300+ yard drives. First of all, you need the right equipment. There's no point playing with a shaft that's too flexible or too stiff for you. So to optimise your distance, it's well worth getting yourself checked out and actually be fitted out properly with the correct equipment. So that's the first thing you really do need. Obviously physical attributes help, you know, the taller you are, the longer your levers are. But then, you know, guys like Charles Schwartz will hit the ball 320. So it must be down to the equipment and the technique. So what gives you power? Club head speed obviously is very important. You need extension. You need to get in behind the ball, but make sure you're not swaying. You know, one of the big temptations is to give it a big wind up and let go, and therefore you then lose a little bit of your control. So you need to find what works for you. So swinging it as fast as you can isn't necessarily the thing that's going to hit the ball further. You find what works for you. When you start your downswing, club head speed and lag are important. If you release early and the club arrives at the ball quickly and the rest of the body's catching up, you're not going to create the club head speed you need. What you need to be doing is, as you get to the ball, your hips are rotating and then the club is accelerating, which is what we call the lag in the golf swing. So as the hips are turning, the weight's driving, the club releases later in the swing. So you need to create that. And that's a hard thing to do, but you've got to practice by literally rotating the hips, leaving the club behind, and then releasing the club through. Your first movement in the downswing is also very important. We call this position here the X factor position. So it's the width at the top. From there, you've got what we call an X factor stretch. The stretch is the separation between the club and the hips at the start of the downswing. The longer and the wider that stretch is there, the more lag and power you create in the golf shot. So your first movement in your downswing, if you're trying to create power, needs that separation. The lower body works separate to the hands. If you start with the downswing, your energy is spent very early in the swing. When you rotate through, a lot of people believe that you really got to jump on the ball. But ultimately, if your hips and your shoulders get ahead of your hands, again, your energy is spent. So it's about getting all these things to work together to create maximum club head speed at the point of delivery, at the strike, and to rotate and keep everything working as a unit. So in summary, you need a lot of things to make you hit the ball a long way. Where you strike the ball when you're trying to create distance is also important. If you hit the ball out the toe or the heel, you're not going to get the spin that you need in order to fire the ball long distances. You also need to get the ball teed up correctly. If you're teeing it too low, the club faces, you're going to hit the ball out the bottom of the club. But if you tee it up correctly, what you'll see is the golf ball is slightly higher than the top edge of the driver there. So you've got to tee the ball up correctly in order to hit the ball out of the middle of the club. When you set up, the ball is just inside the left heel. With the driver, the chances are you're going to be swinging slightly flatter into the ball, and then you want the impact to be on the upswing rather than if the ball was further back in your stance and you're hitting on the downswing. So in order to promote that motion through the ball, tee the ball inside your left heel at the correct height for the driver that you're using, and then you should create the right spin to hit the ball greater distances.